Good evening, Lotus Tribe. Per usual, I hope all is well and everyone is thriving. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Comfort and Tarot Nightcap Edition, where we use tarot to reflect inward in order to become better versions of ourselves. Get your pen and your paper ready and be prepared for the journal prompts. So we just got done listening to Taranell. I think that's how you pronunciate her name. Nothing Without You. The song is just so beautiful. Actually, recently was my first time hearing the song. Unfortunately, I'm late to the game. Nonetheless, it's a very, very beautiful song. To be honest with you, I picked the song before I even pulled the tarot. I was just like, listen, I need to share this with the tribe. So that's what I did. Um, and it just puts me in a mood. Of course, it's about love. You know, sometimes words can mean different things to different people. But just that feeling of love, I think we're getting into a season of love, not just in relationships, but loving oneself, loving spirit, and being obedient. So, with that, let me go ahead and dive right in. The overall card or the overall energy that I pulled was the Sovereign of Cups, equivalent to the Knight of Cups in the tarot, which is very quick moving energy. It's more so being and operating from a heart centered space. Um, and I think that that's prevalent or necessary, especially with the time that we are entering into and what's going on with the rest of the world. The tarot pull that we pulled overall, though, was the Four of Swords. So, just to provide some background there, the Four of Swords is typically a card of reflection, solitude. So with that, I think it's time for us to do some deep dive in. And I know that the winter felt like that, right? Like winter is time for solitude, but no, I think that the solitude looks different from the winter season. I think the spring season of solitude is really, really diving deep into ourselves and defining what love looks like. What does operating from our heart space looks like? When you operate from your heart space, you are able to bring so much things to life. You are able to find compassion. You are able to understand and be at a different state of consciousness. And so I think that spirit is prompting us to take some time and not necessarily become just in our shells and be excluded from the rest of the world, but more so being very intentional and reflective with ourselves and our relationships with the people that we interact with, and that it is important that we are moving from a heart centered space. It's okay to be indulged in our emotions. The world needs love as love prompts healing. The world needs love as love prompts healing. And I feel as though in this time of reflection, it may look different for everybody. It may include a person being more intentive or more practice in yoga or even meditation or journaling, but just diving really, really deep within yourself to that journey of self discovery. And as we learn to journey within ourselves, we tend to attract reflections of what loving ourselves and newness looks like. So, for example, let's say that I am looking for a brand new relationship, and I have realized that I have attracted the same type of person. It just looks different, but ultimately, I find myself in this situation of turmoil. I have to say to myself, what is it about me that I am attracting this? And it's not for you to be hard on yourself. You can be graceful with yourself and reflect at the same time, but it's going to require some reflection. It's going to require you to ask yourself questions. What am I deserving of? Okay. To clarify that, we have love partnerships, and this could be on an actual literal thing. Like, some of us may be really calling and manifesting and bringing in new love into our life with people, but I also want to communicate that that love partnership comes with yourself first before you can even see it in the 3D. There is nothing that happens in the 3D that does not first take place internally. So if some of us are looking for physical relationships, know that a time of reflection is needed and that we are operating in a heart space within ourselves, because we cannot extend anything that does not exist first within us. And to clarify the overall energy, we got spiritual partnerships. So again, we're in this stage of duality and balance. When we think of partnerships, we think of two, right? Physical, non physical, yin, yang, sun, moon. There is balance, light, dark. Spiritual balance, spiritual partnerships. What does that look like for me first? Do you have a strong connection with God, source, spirit? Is your faith unwavered? How can I get to that place with myself? How can I stand in conviction within myself? How can I establish what it is that I'm truly deserving of before I am looking for it externally? It is time to reflect and sit with ourselves and be very intentional and present. The journal prompt: how deep does your love go? How deep does your love go? For yourself, first and foremost, for your family, for your children, for your partners, for your parents, for your coworkers, for humanity. How deep does your love go? And are you having difficulty answering that question? And if you have difficulty answering that question, how deep does love go for you? And if you cannot fully answer that question easily, with ease and grace, we have even further homework to do. We have another tunnel to go through. What does deep love for myself look like? Me personally, and I know that I usually typically end it after I give the journal prompt, but I think it's important for me to share the season that I'm in right now in my life personally is a season of standing in my power. And that includes me giving myself the deepest love that I have ever experienced this lifetime, before I could even ask for anybody else to give it to me. The deepest love for myself, more than my parents have given me, more than my partner has given me. So I can set that expectation and call that love to myself, because I love myself in a way that nobody else has loved me. And before I can look for that in anybody else, I first have to develop that within myself. That looks like me building a deeper bond and connection to my ancestors, source, spirit, God, what so have you. Because I'm attracting a partner that is also fully indulged in spirit. That when those hard times come about, I know that we can always lean on faith and spirit, and that love is unconditional. And me forgiving myself and loving myself unconditionally. So, again, Lotus Tribe, the journal prompt is: how deep does your love go? If you would like to book a personal reading with me, my email is down below. Until next time, Lotus Tribe, sending you so much love and light. Yeah.